Where is it? Right here. Along my journey, one of the intentions that I had was not just to figure out how to obtain a goal, but to figure out how to figure out. Now, some of these goals that you might think of, like winning the lottery or finding true love. Some people might say about these, well, there's no real way to figure these out. Sometimes it's just luck. Sometimes it's just fate or destiny. Sometimes you just have to have faith in God and put it in God's hands, and He'll do everything for you. Now, it's good to leave things in God's hands, but it's, to have faith that God will do something for you, to me, that's not faith. To me, that's irresponsible ignorance. When you use something that you don't know how it works, whether it's a car or a blender, or you sign a contract that you haven't read the terms and conditions, or a privacy policy, or faith and prayer for that matter, or your own mental faculties of understanding, when you use these things and you don't know how they work, there's bound to be a mishap along the way. You're bound to come to a point in time in which that method that you're employing disappoints you. Now, so let's say that God, you put things in, you have faith in God, and He does come through, and He gives you a choice. You can either learn, you can either find out how He performed this, discover His mysterious ways, or you could remain ignorant about them. Which one do you think God would rather have you choose? By the way, just depending on things that you don't know about is a bad habit. It's a bad habit to build anyway. On the other hand, if not only you learn, but you learn how to learn, that makes you a better learner, because you're not only learning things one after the other, building the skill through practice, but because you know how to learn, you know how to set things up beforehand, that makes you more efficient at learning what you have to learn. It's the same thing with this concept. Not only are you figuring out how to get to a goal, but you're figuring out how to figure out, so that when you have something to figure out, when you have a goal and you have to figure it out, you know where to put yourself, you know how to set things up and how to think about them, so that you have a better time figuring out how to get to a goal. That's what practicality is all about, and that's what I have to share with you. Now, for the sake of setting my motivations in order, I had to set for myself a standard while developing this system. My priority was, do not use anything that you don't know the source of, or that you have not come up with yourself. This means that I couldn't just read books and get my ideas from elsewhere and other people. Because when you read a book, you don't know the source of them, or you don't necessarily know how the author came up with it. When you read a book, the source is the author, right? But where did they get their idea from? And if they got their idea from somewhere else, where did those people get their idea from, and so on and so forth. So I would at least have to know how I would come up with that idea on my own. If I read a lot of books and I got all these ideas, I would have to consider them illegitimate for the purposes of my project until I came across them naturally, until I came up with those ideas on my own. So it's the same thing with you. There's a saying that's usually attributed to Buddha, and he says something, he says this about his teachings about Buddhism in general. He says this, he says, don't believe me, don't listen to what I have to say. You figure it out on your own. You make your own observations. You come to your own conclusions. That's the same attitude that I have about this project with you. I have a bunch of ideas. I have a lot of things that I have to say. But if you want to learn this, you'll have to go through your own journey. You'll have to make your own observations. You'll have to figure it out on your own. You'll have to make your own experiences and make your journey an original one. And these tools that I've discovered help you do just that. With these tools, you won't have to read books, you won't have to believe me, you won't even have to listen to me. Because with these tools, you'll be able to figure it out on your own. Now, if when I said that you sense a little bit of irony there, that means that you're very perceptive, and I commend you for that. The question that you should be asking me is this: now, Jimmy, if this journey needs to be original, I can't take these tools from you. Don't I need to discover these tools on my own? And yes, you're right. In a sense, I will be depriving you of an experience in your own journey. But the thing is this: these tools will help you discover these tools on your own. You will discover them on your own, and these tools will help you do that. Did you listen closely? Did you follow what I said? Because if you did, you should be confused, because I just told you a paradox. Enter the paradox. The thing is this, the question that comes up is this: how can I discover these tools if I need these tools to discover them? Or put another way, how can I use these tools to discover these tools if I have not yet discovered them? And this is the same situation that comes up when you're looking for your first job, right? And you can't get a job unless you have experience, but you need the job in order to get that experience. It's the same thing. The thing is this, that I was in the same situation. I was asking the same questions, and for the longest time I was confused. But when I discovered these tools, I learned that when you discover them, you realize that you had them all along. You even discover these tools by realizing that you have already discovered them. And I know these paradoxes are crazy to understand, but trust me, the more you learn, the more sense it will make.